Hey, welcome to the Backyard Blitz. It's Wednesday. We just got done with week 3 of the NFL season. Drew, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that was one of the craziest weeks I've ever seen, man. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, BP. It was kind of a weird NFL week for me. Tough week for fantasy, tough week for betting, a lot of upsets, good football action, but as always, we got a lot to talk about tonight. But we got to start it off with the obvious that there's only 2 of us right now. So
right, So Ricky, if you guys didn't know this, he lives in Sarasota, Florida, and they are getting hit head on by this hurricane right now. So we're definitely thinking about him and his family. So do us a favor, please keep him in your prayers, him and his family. He's texted us so far, so good. But still obvious, he's not going to be here tonight. He's got real life stuff going on, definitely stuff bigger than our podcast. So we're thinking about him, and we hope that him and his family stay safe.
Sure. And, if you guys have seen any of the videos, man, it's bad down there. It's the worst that they've had in decades, they said. And, so just, Ricky, we miss you, pal. We hope the best for you. I know you're going through a tough time right now, but we got your back. We'll hold it down, and we can't wait to have you back, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely thinking about you. Well, we'll turn the page a little bit on that. Obviously, still thinking about him, but we got some football. So, Drew, you have your business stuff that's kind of going on. Did you catch a lot of the football games this weekend? Did you finally get a day off?
No, man. Dude, listen. And I was telling my friends this the other day, and we when I started this thing, it was no secret, and I let you know, dude. NFL has been secondary for me. It's always been college football is my first love. So I haven't been able to watch any college football because I've been bartending, I've been working. This past Saturday, I worked all Saturday. So the NFL, I was telling my buddies, man, the NFL is kind of taking over as my football fix, and it's kind of fitting because we're doing this podcast, so I have to be able to study and watch all the games and know what's going on. So I haven't been able to watch as much Saturday football as I like, but I make sure to keep those Sundays open because I'm stuck to, and it's nice for me because I don't have a team, so I'm stuck to 7 hours of commercial-free football on the NFL Red Zone channel. So that's what I do every Sunday. So it's been fun. It was a fun weekend. Like I said, a disappointing weekend from a fantasy perspective and a betting perspective, but from entertainment, standpoint, it was good.
And it's why, to me, I love college football for the atmosphere. I don't think there's a lot of just atmospheres in life that come close to those, rockin' college stadiums. But I will say, this is why I always say that the NFL is one of the world's biggest soap operas. Anything, and I mean anything, can happen on any given Sunday. We have teams that, we sat here and talked about it last week. There's no way this is going to happen. Boom. And it happens, and you don't see it coming. We talked about Miami having an opportunity against Buffalo. Boom. What happens? I think we sat there.
What did we talk about last week in the group text before we even were like, all right, well, we're not going to talk about the Miami Buffalo game because nobody's picking Miami.
Nobody.
And what happens, like you said, it's a big soap opera, and any given week, it sounds cliche, but it's really the truth. And we're going to touch on some of them games from last week tonight. So we'll talk about it. But dude, I came out last Wednesday and said the Browns and Steelers game was going to be 17-3 like that. Yeah. It wound up going over by halftime. It's just the way it goes. And, speaking of those NFL games on Thursday night, not to get off topic, but dude, it's a really tough thing if you don't know where to watch, or if you they're putting these games on Amazon Prime, you really got to find it. And I'd be curious to see what the NFL is saying about viewership and ratings and stuff like that. Do you know anything about that? Is the viewership down because of the Amazon Prime or no?
So apparently it's the opposite, that the last 2 Thursday night games have been getting 13.5 million views. And that kind of has me going, what the heck? Because I was going to actually shout out on a hot shot of the week. One of these times coming up is those kids that's helping their parents set up Amazon Prime to watch these Thursday night games. Like my dad he didn't even know that it was on there until I told him, and I go Amazon. And he goes, well, I don't have Amazon on my Roku. He goes, oh, is that the thing that says Prime? Yeah, that's the one. So, I mean, you can tell that there's obviously that disconnect between having it on your TV and now, kind of shifting to the stream, but 13.5 million views is nothing to scoff at. Like that's a pretty big number for Thursday.
That's a huge number. I think I'd be curious I don't know how they inflate these numbers or how they get these numbers, but that's high. I do enjoy Herb Street though, calling the NFL. I like it. Brings a new dynamic to it. I like Buck and Aikman on Monday nights. I think that brings a big game feel back to Monday night football. Like I said, exciting weekend. Some upsets, some stuff we need to talk about for sure. But hey, there's no rest for the weary, man. We turn around by Monday night. You got 2 nights to rest. You got Wednesday night to watch the podcast to catch up on all your news, and then we're right back in it on Thursday. So there's not a whole lot of time to recover here.
Yeah, it's go. News is coming out every day. By the way, I think this is a great time to go up and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you're subscribed. We'd love to make sure that you're on here. You're getting all the notifications when we go live. We definitely appreciate it. But Drew, I think it's time we talk about our winners of week 3. Now, there's some upsets, some shocking stuff that happened. What was one thing that stood out to you where you got one of your winners here for week 3?
So one of my big winners for week 3, and I got to say, because I was high on this team, preseason, and a couple of our pre-shows, I was high on the Chargers. I loved them offensively. I'm a big Herbert fan, and I know Herbert was under the weather, or not under the weather, but injured. But my winner of the week is the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Jaguars came out and absolutely dominated that game from not the opening quarter. They kind of came out a little slow, but they had a lead at halftime and then just never stopped. I think Trevor Lawrence is coming into his own we were talking about it again with my buddies this morning. Like, dude, I think by the end of the year, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, Trevor Lawrence. And he's playing some good football. And what a difference a coaching change makes. And that's what I was going to touch on, man. Like, you got these guys, you got this team, a young team full of talent. They just needed somebody to lead them. And Urban Meyer was not the right guy. But I will tell you right now that Doug Peterson is doing a great job. And, everybody here in Philly would rake Peterson over the coals for being too soft, or they call it emotional intelligence and stuff like that. Like, dude, if you get these guys to buy into what you're teaching them, like, you can get them to do anything. It takes that edge. From a coaching aspect in the NFL, like, you don't have to teach a lot of X's and O's. All right, you got to manage. You got to CEO. You're the CEO of the team. You got to teach people, man. You got to teach them how to play together. You got to teach people how to overcome adversity, how to put their egos aside and play for somebody else rather than themselves. And Peterson does a great job of that, and it's showing here in Jacksonville. And I think these kids I say kids because they're young, man. Yeah, it's a young team. They're buying in. I saw it was a funny stat. Like, Peterson's already like fifth. I saw it. Tied with Urban Meyer for fifth most coaching wins in Jaguars history or something. But they were a big winner. Nobody really expected them to come out and give them much of a chance to beat the Chargers, but they did. And dude, handedly, they did it. They did it with style, and they got another exciting matchup. It'll be fun to watch this week. The Jaguars coming back and Dougie P coming back to Philadelphia and playing a tough Philadelphia Eagles team, man. But this, for the Eagles, a lot of people are saying these guys are maybe the best team in the league. Dude, it's not going to be easy on Sunday. I guarantee you that. These Jaguars, they're going to come in hungry, and Peterson's going to have them ready to go. I'm curious to see what kind of reception Peterson gets at the link. I think it'll be a positive one. I would think so, right? Like he won the Super Bowl there. Yeah. So, you would think so. I think there was a lot of Philly fans. Get rid of Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
He's one of the main reasons why Carson Wentz is gone. So, dude, they can't be too mad at him,
No, and honestly, I feel like when he got fired, there was a lot of Eagles fans that were upset about it because of everything.
It was Wentz's doing.
Yeah,
there was no fixing that relationship, and basically it was Wentz or him, and Peterson went, and then Wentz went. They went close together. I can't remember who went first. I'm pretty sure Peterson got fired first, and then
I feel like it was pretty close too. But my winner this weekend. I got the Miami Dolphins, man. We sat here on this show, in our group text, and we're talking about how they have almost no shot. We want to see, let's see what happens. I talked about Tua. Tua will be right in that conversation if he goes in there and slings it around with Josh Allen. Well, you want to know what? He didn't have those gaudy numbers, but he got the W. And I think what was impressive to me wasn't necessarily the Dolphins' offense. It was that defense. Now, I know that the Buffalo Bills were missing some guys. A lot of those guys were on defense. They were missing their safety. They were missing some linemen here and there, but they got pressure on Josh Allen. Josh Allen was not comfortable back there. You saw him pissed off at the end of the game. I know something we're going to talk about is their offensive coordinator throwing a hissy fit, but you could tell that it just wasn't clicking, and that's a divisional matchup there. Like the Dolphins are the first in the AFC East right now. The Bills are looking behind them, so
we just said, nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave the Dolphins a chance, us included. And like you just touched on, like, okay, is Tua going to go out there and go blow for blow with Josh Allen? No, and he didn't, and he didn't have to because they still won the game. They found other ways to win, and the Dolphins, like, as crazy as it sounds, man, the Dolphins are a team that you don't want to mess with right now. Like,
they're riding high. How about Mike McDaniel though? Like, I mean, what about that? Do you feel like, and I got that logo back there. He's from San Francisco, and I feel like the way that the 49ers look like on Sunday night, and all of a sudden we're seeing, the 3-0 Miami Dolphins, it kind of makes me start to wonder, or the 49ers missing him a little bit. He sounds like a hell of a coach down there. The players love him.
So to not get too far off topic, I saw something today that I was going to send to you. It said, you can't, let's not blame the 49ers loss on Garoppolo or this or that. Let's start looking at Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a real thing.
Mike McDaniel, dude. So he's the kind of guy who is just an absolute football genius. Okay. He knows offensively what's going to happen 3 plays in advance. He knows what plays to call, and that's why they're being successful. The part that I don't understand about him, he's cool with the players, the whole Mike Jones thing. He's funny. He knows what's going on in society. My thing with him is I can't see him giving a pregame speech in a locker room.
Oh my gosh.
Speech. I saw a couple clips of that, and I'm like, let the assistant coaches or let the guys handle that, dude. There's no questioning that you're a good coach. You know your stuff, but leave the hype to somebody else because you're not the
very
best
unconventional looking guy,
exactly.
Right?
And
he's a Yale graduate.
He's young. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's innovative. Like you said, he's with the times. He knows what the guys like, and that's cool, man. That's cool to be. Like I said, have that relationship with them, just like we touched on Doug Peterson. But, dude, hearing this guy give a post-game speech or a pre-game speech is, almost laughable. I'm like, dude, you never even,
all right. Yeah, and it's I mean, the guys are towering up. He's a stick. He looks like a nerd. He looks like the film guy, like the AD guy.
It really reminds me of Moneyball.
It does.
And it's working. So good for them, dude. Dude, I like the guy. He's cool. So,
yeah,
when he came out with his press conference is like Mike Jones.
Oh, I know. And then he goes, who? Yeah, he goes, who? He's a character, man. And I mean, we got a chance here, listening to, Kyle Shanahan would push him up to get, talk to the media and all that stuff. So I knew it was only a matter of time for him getting a job. But I mean, listening to him talk, he would talk about him and Shanahan would sit in these rooms and how they would just kind of start scheming stuff. So he's a Yale graduate. This dude is a legit genius. Yeah. And you can tell that he's like one of those people that might not have like all the social cues sometimes.
Sure.
But he will just like pop off all this stuff. But then he comes up with the Mike Jones, and it's like very unconventional guy.
He's like, you know, like I like to think like myself, like you could take this podcast, for instance, me versus you right now. Like, dude, you could sit here and reel off as many stats as you want. Like, some people just store that knowledge. I couldn't tell you who won the Super Bowl last year. Like, I don't have like there's just a difference, but you know, and I think McDaniel's got something like that going on where, dude, he's just so cerebral, but can you bring it out like in other ways too? But if you're winning cures all, man.
Winning cures everything. So. And they're 3-0, big winners right now. I know you got another one. What's another winner that you got this week?
Another winner that I had this week was somebody who, dude, nobody gave this guy a shot. All right. You know, the starting quarterback goes down. We're done for the year. Let's tank for the first overall pick. Cooper Rush, man, and the Dallas Cowboys. I watched that whole Monday Night Football game. Little slow to start. Okay. I think it was a little tough going. The defenses were definitely holding ground there. Offenses were still kind of getting it together. I think Barkley looked good for the Giants, but I think Cooper Rush played well. 21 to 31 for a touchdown. Dude just did a good job managing the game. And for somebody, like I said, who they didn't expect much out of, the dude's 3-0 and hasn't lost the game as a starting quarterback yet. So maybe the Cowboys the Cowboys fans should focus more on, you know, trying to win the NFC East rather than, tank for the first highest draft pick. So I think Cooper Rush did a good job, and he's my other winner of the week.
He's been impressive. And I mean, here's the thing about backup quarterbacks, and you know a little bit about this, Drew, like just being a quarterback yourself. It's great when you're the guy. No, not being the backup, but I mean, like, there's things that you have to do to prepare. And it's one thing when you're preparing as a starter. It's another thing when you're preparing for you know, and it's kind of a different mentality. It's like most of the time, you know, 95% of the time, like you're not playing and you're preparing like a starter. That could get monotonous. And especially when you're sitting behind a guy like Dak and a team that, you know, has all these stars. For him to go in there. Now, there's a lot of pressure on backups. A lot of people think it's an easy job. Well, yeah, it's an easy job when you don't got to go in. But when you go in, that's your career. Because if you stink it up, guess what? Your team's looking for another backup. And you're looking for another job based off of what you just put out there of not very good. Or you go out there and you start to play well. And the thing about backup is you're supposed to go in there and be good for a game, maybe 2, not 5, 6, 7 consecutive starts potentially. And that's where I'm curious to see how he does. But right now, if he does really well, Drew, do you think there could potentially be a quarterback controversy in Dallas? I know we're a ways from it, but there's a lot of, I feel like Dak's kind of been on the hot seat a little bit, has kind of underperformed in certain areas as far as playoff wins go, right? Like not getting there. And if Cooper Rush comes in, I mean, we kind of saw this before when a guy by the name of Tony Romo came in there and started slinging it around and kind of took a starter's job. So what do you think? Do you think that could be a thing in Dallas or no?
I don't think there's going to be a controversy because, at the end of the day, money talks heavily in the NFL. On that being said, on the other hand, I don't think that if Rush continues to win, like Cowboys are not going to be in any hurry to bring Dak back. All right. They're going to let him take his time, recover from his injury, and, maybe take a couple extra weeks just to make sure he's definitely ready. But I think when he's ready to come back, he'll be the guy. And, if Cooper Rush keeps playing well, dude, he's earning himself a contract elsewhere, honestly. So a lot of these guys, these backups are doing that and knowing that, hey, this could get me a job somewhere else if it's not going to be here. So,
yeah. Well, I got another one too, Drew. I know you came in with 2, and I have a second one. It's not hard to find winners this week, by the way. It's actually hard to cut them down to 2. But mine's the Indianapolis Colts. Just like the Miami Dolphins, we did not give them. In fact, by the way, I'm pissed at them at the same time because I picked Kansas City in one of my survivor pools. So I had 3 strikes in this pool. weeks 1 through 3, done. That's how this season's gone on. But the Colts, to look Kansas City in the eye, basically, and have the game that they did. Now, Kansas City didn't play well, but that some of that kind of goes on the Colts a little bit too. I don't know if Kansas City overlooked them or whatever. They still got to go out there for 60 minutes and they got to win the game. Now, Kansas City kind of gave them that extra chance with the late penalty, but Matt Ryan, they threw a touchdown pass with 23 seconds left or whatever it was to beat the Chiefs, because we talked a lot about the Colts this offseason, about being a team that looked like with Matt Ryan could make some noise in the AFC. Through the first 2 weeks, they did not look good. And we all looked at that game and said, Kansas City, they're going to be 0-3. Like, we might as well just write it down. Well, that didn't happen. Now, they got a lot to fix. You know, Jonathan Taylor's not been going off the way that people expect him to. Matt Ryan hasn't played the way. I mean, losing to Jacksonville kind of looks good. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, it's
Jacksonville loss doesn't look so bad. I'm worried about Jonathan Taylor. All right, he hasn't gone off the way he did last year by any means, and how the analysts and the experts predicted this year. And that's why you said, man, NFL is the biggest soap opera there is, because you never know what's going to happen. Excuse me. Matt Ryan still got sacked 5 times. The offensive line has got to clean that up. They looked good. I think defensively defense kept them in the game. Anytime you can hold the Chiefs to 17 points, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
Matt Ryan, like you said, you knew Matt Ryan was going to come in and be an automatic upgrade, because anything's better than friggin' Carson Wentz. But he's still got, at his age, it's tough to say like, oh, he's got to improve a little bit. But I definitely think they showed a little bit beating the Chiefs. Chiefs also showed me a little bit too. Like, maybe they're not as high and mighty as they used to be.
Speaking of that, Drew, actually, that's a great transition. What do you think about your losers of the week? Because I believe, I'll just go ahead and say it. The Chiefs were one of mine biggest losers. And I want you to watch this, actually. Check this out. This is Pat Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy going at each other. It's something we haven't really seen there in Kansas City.
Live games. Let's go back to this moment. Right before halftime, Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes got into a little bit of a sideline argument about the play calling before the half. Mahomes thought they could have gotten into field goal range, I believe was the case. Bieniemy trying to calm him down. The cameras come in, and so did Andy Reid to separate them. You'll see Big Red come in and say, okay, let's go in the locker room here. After the game, which was a loss by Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes talked about the confrontation.
At the end of the day, I wanted to go try to score. I mean, that's just who I am. We were in a tough situation. I believe it was like 2nd or 3rd and 20 and something like that. And probably the smart decision was to just take it. We had got the ball at a half. Let's just go to halftime. But I'm always gonna be wanting to score. And I mean, I pretty much just said, let me have a chance at it. And then he was just like, let's get back in our locker room and we'll get something going.
That to me sounds like an offensive coordinator and a quarterback not being on the same page, and I feel like that's kind of a big deal. But Chiefs big losers. To me this last week.
You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of a younger, slimmer Drew Daly in Germany arguing with the head coach about taking a knee to end the game. Listen, Bieniemy was content with taking a lead into the halftime. Dude, we got 1 play left. We're good. You could see him say, "We're good. We're good." Don't show the coach up, man. I got a problem with that. And I know you're Patrick Mahomes. You want to go down there and compete and win. We're good. Take the knee in. You're getting embarrassed right now by the Colts because I think they were up by like 4 at that time, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They were up small. We're good. Let's take it into halftime. Let's regroup. And that's what they should have done. Mahomes he might not have liked it, but dude, suck it up and get into halftime and regroup. So
that's a big deal. Now I know that you have a loser of the week, and it was another coach that was kind of freaking out. I'll let you go ahead and introduce that, and I'll show the clip.
I have a huge problem, and Ken Dorsey, the offense coordinator of the Bills, dude. I have a huge problem with the way you reacted to that loss on what was it? Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. Like, Dude, I don't know if do you have it queued up?
I got it.
No?
I got it queued up right here. Let me
if you guys
just
haven't seen the clip, just watch.
Yeah, here it is. So this is the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills here. This is right at the end of the game, but this is what happens.
Like,
yeah. So,
dude, are you kidding me? Like that, as a coach, that bothers me, man. You were a former quarterback. You were a great college quarterback. You were a NFL quarterback, but you were there. You got a great job now. You climbed your way up the ranks. You're the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. You just took a tough loss, and you're what is this new thing with throwing tablets and breaking tablets? Okay,
Brady did it the week before. Yeah.
Brady breaks 2 of them. Now it's cool to do. He looked like a fool. And all the other coaches are just sitting back like this, like, there goes Crazy Ken again. Like, this isn't the first time.
Like they expected it to happen. Did you see one of the coaches just back up?
It's childish. It's embarrassing, and it just reminds me of somebody like at a friggin' Little League baseball game. One of the dads who's arguing with an umpire or something like that. That's what Ken Dorsey reminds me of. It was so bad that somebody behind the camera had to put their hand over the camera to block it because they knew that this was going to be recorded. So Ken Dorsey, you, my friend, are a loser of my week. And you're not that you mattered to me and I matter to you, but you're the loser for the rest of my life because I don't like you very much after that.
Oh, man. You want to know what? That was almost real life footage of what was happening in my living room as I watched that snooze fest of a game Sunday night, though. Just childish, man. Embarrassing. My second loser of the week are the Patriots. We're 3 years without Tom Brady. When is Bill Belichick? Like, they went to the playoffs last year. I get it. Mac Jones hurts his ankle there. He gets carried off, like, basically like crying. Like, what is going on in New England? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, they've had years to move on from Tom Brady. Obviously, they drafted Mac Jones thinking that he was the guy, but they look like a team that's going to be sitting 6-11 and wondering what the hell happened to the season. What do you think about them, Drew? They're a big loser to me right now.
Dude, the biggest loser of this whole thing is anybody who's holding Mac Jones rookie cards. All right, they need to sell them right now because those values are going to go nowhere but south. Dude, he's been playing awful. The Patriots defense was what did you say?
McCorkle.
The Patriots defense was Swiss cheese. Lamar just tore him up on the ground, through the air. He had 4 TDs. He had 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Maybe it's just time for Belichick to go because he's, that old quote. It's like, oh, it's better to like keep your mouth closed and let people assume that you're an idiot rather than opening it and proving to people that you're an idiot. It's kind of like the same thing with Belichick, where it's like Brady was making you for all those years, and now let's see what you do without him because he can't do anything without him. All right, so maybe you just get out while you're somewhat still ahead there, Billy boy.
Yeah. And I know you got one more, and then I got a little section because there was some stuff that really happened that was crazy. I'll just show you a couple clips, but there was one more that has stood out to me.
One more to me, and it was just something that I wanted to touch on because, I kind of am a little embarrassed the way I handled myself a couple weeks ago with the Hot Shot segment. When I was so selfish in my predictions of saying that I called the Broncos starting the way they were, when I called the Broncos mishaps with the coaching staff. So I don't want to act the same way because I did call this one at around the same time. I think they're in the same division.
It was the same podcast.
Okay. So my other loser of the week, and this must have been a good podcast week for me a couple months ago. Dude, the Raiders. The Raiders are absolutely terrible. They are hard to watch. Okay.
They have so much talent, I feel like, and it's just not coming together, and they're fine. It's like they find a way to lose the game.
Who's got talent?
Well, I would say it's everybody but their QB1. They got Waller. He's an all-star tight end. They got Devontae Adams. They have these guys, but they're not.
Derek Carr is awful. And when Mac Hollins has got 8 friggin' receptions and Devontae Adams has got 5 on the same amount of actually Mac Hollins has got more targets. What are we doing? All right, Raiders, you're my friggin' loser of the week. You're going to be my loser of the year. I told you guys a month and a half ago. Who's the head coach? Josh
McDaniels.
Yeah, he sucks. He's awful as a head coach. And they're already calling for his head. They want him fired in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
After 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's bad. So we got the winners, we got losers. And then you want to know what? There's a couple things that I saw that just kick off a whole new bag of their own category. And Vince Lombardi said it best. What the hell's going on out here?
Play one more time.
One more time.
What the hell's going on out here?
I'm telling you, there were some things. One thing in my game particular, there's people in the comments already asking for it. I'll make you wait on that one, but check out this. Like Miami was almost trying to lose this game with this punt here.
But then a field goal beats you. I don't know. This is
Watch when this ball hits. Boom, right up the keister.
Oh, my goodness. Blocked indeed. And we just told you he's only had
Talking about the butt punt.
The butt punt. I mean,
What the hell's going on out here?
what the hell?
What the hell?
Are we?
What? BP. I'm going to carry the show. That's fun. Anybody in the comments, you still got me? Because we'll just keep rolling. It's on me. Okay, so somebody else is out here. All right, well, we're going to keep rolling, man. I'll carry this thing. I'm trying to see, like, I see Jeff. Jeff, you're responding to me. Let's do this. Brandon likes to hear his own voice too much. Oh, my God. We just lost everything. You know what? What better time? What better time than to bring in the prophet? I don't have access to all the cool intro music and stuff like that, but, you know, I can bring this guy in. So, prophet, here we go. Is he with me? Prophet ready to go? Prophet's ready to go. Let's get into that segment, guys. Hey, Prophet, listen, sometimes, on live television, you got to improvise.
My contract only calls for being on for a certain amount of time, Slinger. You know, you're going to need me longer tonight, it seems.
I see Brandon just got back. I don't know what the heck happened there.
What in the hell's going on out here?
Don't worry. We got the show under control, Brandon.
Oh, my God. My internet just went completely out. Like, I'm in the hurricane. I'm in Idaho, guys. Hey, what's going on here? Like,
listen, the funny part is it cuts out, and I think Brandon's doing the whole skit to bring in the prophet. Like, you guys, I'm like, is he being serious?
Oh,
That's
my
funny,
God. You know what? We'll move right on to the prophet. I don't know what that was. Crazy.
No. We can't move. We'll keep the prophet on, but we can't move on without letting you off the hook. And this is for all the people in the comments. I'm not letting Brandon off the hook that easy. Your what the hell is going on out here moment. Talk about your boy Jimmy G stepping out of the back of the end zone there, man.
Boy, that was something else. In fact, I got it right here. Let me bring this up. What the hell is going on here?
Second and 10 from his own end zone. Garoppolo's out of the end zone to safety.
Now watch this. You got to be kidding me. Dan Orlovsky's catching strays right there. Okay. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. I threw my hat. I'm going to flat out just say it right there. I threw my hat. I was very upset. And of course, everybody thinks I'm getting off before I can talk about Jimmy G. Totally understand. I was mad. Here's the thing what the hell's going on out there? Why do we have a play action screen on the 1 yard line? Why is that called? Why? That's a horrible situation to be in.
The play calling wasn't great, but come on. The field awareness wasn't great either. Like,
no.
And I said this in a pre-show, like Orlovsky's sitting here like he's vindicated, like, oh, finally somebody else did the same thing. Nah, cause you ran across the back of the end zone out of bounds. Like yours was still 10 times worse than Garoppolo. So
Man, we got all sorts of technical issues here. This is a phenomenal podcast.
Going on here tonight?
I do not know what's going on here.
we got the prophet up. I didn't have the intro for him, but he joined us. So let's get into talking to him.
Nice. Well, what's up, Prophet? Hey, so last week we had talked about some players that you would potentially sit. One of which we talked about Nick Chubb, right? And you were right. About for 58 minutes, like I'm sitting there cursing him that he's in my lineup. So I think we got lucky with the touchdown there because Kareem Hunt actually got hurt, and then they put Chubb back in to get the touchdown. So it had only been a 10-point night for him where he was kind of struggling. So I'm telling you, Prophet, you're on to some of these things here. What do you got for us this week?
Well, BP, if it wasn't for the touchdown, but he did get the touchdown. So, but the problem, I've been doing a lot of thinking this past week, and I just haven't been happy with what's going on here. Okay, I mean, I've been challenging myself by trying to come up with big names, to put on the bench and all, and it's great. I've been doing wonderful with it, but it's not helping the viewers, and that's why I'm on the show. I'm on the show to help the viewers, and so I'm going to change things up a little bit this week. Because let's face it, if I hit 100%, you're still not going to sit Nick Chubb or Najee Harris or CeeDee Lamb or Tom Brady if I say to do it. So I want to be more helpful to everybody. That's what my game plan is this week.
I love it. I love it. Well, what do you got for us this week? Who's your guys? Who's your guys we got to start?
The starters, I got Jared Goff as my quarterback this week. Going up against Seattle. Seattle's giving up about 240 or so a game, and I said it earlier this year, they may only get one win, and I don't think they're going to get one here this week. I think Detroit's going to run it up on them.
Oh wow, okay.
Detroit's been playing well too. I think
they have been. They've been playing real well. And I mean they've been close, and I know that they might be without DeAndre Swift this week, which. I know that's going to be tough, but Seattle's defense has given up a ton of points. I really like that start. I was even thinking about something like that. I might even like Detroit this week in my picks. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see when we get there, but I like that. What do you got running back wise? There's some running backs that are kind of having some heydays, and there look to be some tough matchups this week.
Yeah, well, I think I found a matchup that shouldn't be too tough, and that's Saquon Barkley against the Bears. The Bears aren't bad against the pass, but against the run they're not too good. Giants aren't good passing. They got a decent running game. I think Saquon's going to have a big game this week.
I was cursing him out last week. It came down to Saquon needing 8 points or something. My wife and I in fantasy football. Well, we didn't have 8 points. I think he had like 24 points. He looks to be back in his old form. Do you feel not just this week, but is that a guy that you can feel, pretty confident with that he's kind of turning this a new leaf again, back to what we thought Saquon was before he's been riddled with injuries? What do you think on that there, Pigskin Prophet?
Well, he's on my fantasy team. So, yeah, I like him.
All right.
I picked him up actually after week 1. I dropped Alvin Kamara.
So, okay. I gotcha. Yeah. What do we got on the wide receivers? I know that there's some guys. So Sterling Shepard, he's out with an ACL, right? And so who we got? Like if you have Sterling Shepard in your lineup, you're dropping him. Who's a guy that you have that's a must start this week that looks to have a really favorable matchup?
Well, I'm going down to Georgia this week, and I'm going to go with Drake London.
Okay.
Off the cusp.
He seemed, he's Mariota's favorite target. Last week I told you to sit Pitts until Mariota realized he's on the field, and he actually did realize last week, but London still had a nice game.
So I think he's coming into his own a little bit now. Who do the Falcons got this week? Let me take a look here. I know that they must have a pretty favorable matchup. Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another team that's given up about 250 a game or so, and they've been playing against teams that really don't have very good passing offense.
And part of the internet going out, I didn't get to do the old 2-minute drill, but Garrett, he was in a car crash, right?
Yeah,
he might not be playing this week, so that is another
week.
Reason to maybe be favoring that Atlanta passing game a little bit when you don't have a pass rusher like that going after Mariota. Potentially, that could definitely help out.
Correct. I agree with you there, BP.
Who we staying away from? Who we sitting their butts on the bench this week? Who you don't like?
Quarterback wise, I'm saying Mitchell Trubisky. He's got such a cupcake game this week. I watched that Thursday night game last week, and it doesn't appear as though his receivers have any confidence whatsoever in him. Yeah, they really don't seem like they want to play for him. I mean, with the exception of Pickens making that acrobatic catch, that was a hell of a catch.
He was almost my hot shot of the week for that catch. Honestly,
that was a hell of a catch.
That was one of the better catches we're going to see.
Well, like Johnson and Claypool, I mean, he's missing them by 2-3 yards, and you can see the disgust in the receiver's eyes and their body language. Trubisky could be the first quarterback bench for the season.
I was going to say, is it almost time for the first round pick, Kenny Pickett?
Well, that'll be discussed in about 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh, don't mean to step on anybody's toes here.
Who else you got, Prophet? Who's your running back we should stay away from?
Damien Harris. He's Mac Jones. You guys touched on it. He's probably not playing. I mean, all indications are he's not. They're going into Green Bay. Stevenson seems to be getting more of the touches lately. Damien Harris is still going to get the ball at the goal line, it appears. But if you're in a touchdown-only league, that's great. But if you're not, you need touches between the 50 to 20. He's the guy to stay away from.
All right. And wide receiver-wise, what are we staying away from this week?
Brandon Cooks.
Okay. Brandon Cooks. He's been Mr. Consistent there, but looks like Mills had a tough time through that late pick last week. You don't like the matchup?
Well, the charge, and that's pretty much what those stats involved in this selection. I just have a feeling the Chargers are going to be fired up after that debacle last week. I think they're going to go into Houston and they're going to, kind of clamp down on them. Yeah, gotcha. I don't think Houston's going to do a whole lot.
All right, and I should be listening to you as far as the lock, because I've kind of tried the layups early in the season. Try to get some of these teams I'm not going to pick later. So I picked Kansas City last week. Well, that screwed me over. I picked the Colts week 1. That screwed me over because they played against Jacksonville. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on, but yet your picks have been right on. You're still in your survivor pool, I imagine. So who you got as your lock this week?
Yeah. If you've been following me with that pick, you're still alive in yours also. This week, I'm actually going against one of my betting trends, which is I love betting teams that, first time starting a new quarterback, the New England Patriots with Mac Jones being hurt. But I still think New England may keep the game close, but Green Bay is going to win this game.
All right.
Green Bay is going to win it. That's my pick of the week.
I like it. Well, we got our daily fantasy up. We had a new winner this last week. Carson Smith won our daily fantasy this last week. So you sent him $20 to your money. He's a viewer of the show. He's in there again this week. Prophet, we appreciate that. We got 12 people in there. I think we got 7 spots left last time I checked. So make sure you go on our Facebook. We'll put it out there on Twitter again. Win some of the Prophet's money for our daily fantasy. It's one of the biggest hits, and it's starting to fill up every week, just a little bit quicker. Yep. We get it filled by tomorrow night. The following week, I'm going to put it to 15. So let's get those spots filled.
Guys, it's real easy. You sign up, You make your picks, you win. I send you $20.
It's pretty simple.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's free 99.
Yeah. What was that Kenny Pickett talk?
Oh, that was in my waiver wire pickups.
Oh
week.
yeah, BP. We forgot about the waiver wire.
Waiver wire. I'm all discombobulated today. So waiver wire. So you got Kenny Pickett up there.
Yeah, and I mean, my only concern with this pick here is that looking over the Steelers' schedule after this week, man, they got a brutal schedule for the next 7 weeks or so. And I just don't know whether or not Tomlin, will make this switch and put him in against all this, these tough teams. But what better time to do it? I mean, if you're not happy with the starter, let's see what this kid can do. But I say get Kenny Pickett on your team if you got a roster spot open.
I like it. Do you have another one, or was that your only guy?
Yeah, I got one more. Right now David Montgomery is questionable.
Yeah, there it is.
My sources are all telling me that he is not going to play this week. So
profit sources.
Profit sources. So I'm saying get Khalil Herbert if he's available in your league. Get him. I mean, man, that kid's a beast. You see the numbers.
He had a hell of a game this last weekend. He had a hell of a game.
Yeah, and that was in like 3 quarters of playing. And I mean, the kid, I've seen him play, a couple of different times, and he looks great every time. The bad thing is he's playing behind Montgomery, who is a good back, but Montgomery has been injury prone.
He does.
If you can get Khalil on your team, get him on your team.
I love it. Well, Prophet, as always, we appreciate it. Looks like we're back. YouTube's reporting some outages, by the way, if something's kind of going on. And see a couple people here in the comments. So glad to know that it's not just us, but we're just kind of working through those. I don't know if that's hurricane
live television,
or whatever,
baby. Like that's what happens.
We just got to roll.
That's all right.
Well,
I was ready to go. BP.
You were. I love it. Hey.
I didn't have the intro for him, but thank God that he teleported in at the right time, and I was able to bring him on.
That's awesome.
You gonna let me finish my segments here? Or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I want to do a shout out to Cameron for winning the pigskin, winning the profits money this week, and shout outs to let me see here, Mike D and Debbie P and Jeff L and all the other guys on the line there. You guys are great. I love yous. I got two emails real quick here to read. First one comes from a Cindy L. Help me, Prophet, please. Who should I play as my second running back? Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Khalil Herbert? Well, I just said get Herbert on your team. You got him already. I would play Herbert over Edwards-Helaire, even though I do like Edwards-Helaire. They got a tough team to play against Tampa Bay this week. And the second one comes from a Greg G. And let me preface this by saying that last week I sent an email out to Greg G. He asked me a question last week, and I helped him out here. But he says this week, I'm sorry, Prophet. I went against your advice last week and played Burks, but I have the same dilemma this week. Burks or Olave for my flex. And I'm going to answer you, Greg, okay? But I'm going to say this. If you insist on sticking your head up a bull's ass to check the cuts on a regular basis instead of listening to what the prophet says, I'm not going to take your emails anymore, okay? Olave. That's it. I'm out.
I love it. Thanks, Prophet. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh my goodness,
Prophet
that guy.
Got pissed. We cut him off.
Oh,
Prophet. We have deadlines on live television that we have to make up for when Brandon gets cut off the internet. So,
oh my God, that was horrible. I was panicking. Well, anyway, we got a special guest today.
You were panicking.
I was bad. I didn't know if it cut off. I thought it completely cut off. I thought the whole show was fun.
Thank God that the people were still talking to me. They're like, "Yo, Drew, it's your show. Roll with it." I'm like, "All right, here we go, cuz here comes the
Oh
prophet."
my God. Well, hey, as always, you do a tremendous job, and I was panicking because I thought the show was gone. So I'm glad we're good. We got a special guest. We got Woodrow Piney in the house. Big fan of the show. Woodrow, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing good. We're doing good.
On, man. Thanks for being a great, consistent listener and follower.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I love the show. Love the prophet. I'm a firm believer in every word that he says now. I wasn't a believer at first, but
he made you one.
Don't go against the prophet, man. Bad things happen.
No.
Don't go against the prophet. Well,
and don't try and cut him out of his segment either, because he'll let you know he's got more.
He did. He was getting a little spicy there. I'm all over the place today, man. You guys are holding down the fort here. But Woodrow, been a big fan of the show. It's almost like we know each other. John or Woodrow, John, we go back a long time, don't we?
We sure do. We sure do. Like 25 years almost.
Something like that. Yeah. We used to play football back in the day, and some of my finest you were my receiver. I was a quarterback. We were at some football camps together. And then you moved away in high school. To go pursue some music, which you're doing phenomenally well with. But first, let's talk a little football real quick. You got your Chargers jersey on. You're a big Chargers guy. You lived down in the area for a long time, and now you're in Florida. Thank God you're safe with the hurricane in a different spot, not quite impacting you guys as much, right?
That's right. Yeah, thank God. And, just want to express my, concern for Ricky, and hope he's doing well. Hope he's doing okay, but we can move on from that. But
we appreciate it, man. So what's going on with your Chargers? 38-10, get beat up by the Jaguars. Joey Bosa's going on IR with looks like he needs surgery on his groin. What? I'm not going to bring up the Vince Lombardi thing again. I think the internet got pissed at me over it, but what the hell's going on in there in LA?
Yeah, they got injuries, just like everybody else. They're going to have to find a way to work through it. And they got some guys that are going to have a chance to step up, and hopefully they can. They didn't step up in the Jacksonville game, but they were playing a very good team. And like Andrew said, they were big winners this week. And, I don't think that's anything to discredit the Chargers. I think Jacksonville played very well. And Trevor Lawrence, even though I like to make fun of the guy sometimes, but
is it his neck?
No, his neck. But no, he's a great quarterback, and he looked fantastic on Sunday. So, but Chargers are going to have to work through it, and if they don't, then I do live in Florida now, and.
Wow.
He's holding up a Jalen Waddle jersey for those you can't see. So he's ready to change his colors.
No, I picked that up last year, by the way, when I moved down here. I am supporting both teams, but
picked it up.
I did.
Yeah. Those are $150 jerseys. That's a hell of a pickup,
Yeah.
That's funny.
My wife actually picked it up for me. She wants me to be
a
Dolphins fan, but
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, so Woodrow, you're a huge football fan. Obviously, you're a big fan of the show. We see in the comments every week, which, by the way, we greatly appreciate it. But I wanted to return the favor today. You are a musician, and not everybody knows that. You used to be in the hard rock scene, and now you kind of switched it up a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what Woodrow Piney is. Kind of your music journey and kind of what you got going on here recently.
Well, my music journey started when I was about 17 years old, after we stopped playing football together. And I started in hardcore bands, and I bled on the stage. I screamed, I yelled, I was homeless. I played in punk rock bands. I did, everything. And then I joined the Navy and kind of settled down a little bit. And now I play electronic music, and I write and record and produce everything myself. I actually, now I sample other artists' music as well. That makes the songwriting process go a lot easier. But yeah, I sing over the songs that I produce, and that's that.
That's a hell of a journey too. I know you and I have been friends during that entire time, and so I've kind of had an opportunity to watch your journey. First of all, thank you for your service. We were kind of close a little bit sometimes when we're over in Germany, where you'd kind of be stationed fairly, not super close, but close, not like the United States and we're in Germany close. Like you'd kind of be over there a little bit, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I would be in like the Gulf of Oman or something, and you'd be in Germany, and
Yeah,
we'd be talking online.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
you got a song that's coming out now. You've had some singles, some really good hits, and I really enjoy listening to them. Matter of fact, for our viewers that haven't had the opportunity to listen to Woodrow, I got a little 1-minute clip here of your new video that's coming out. What is this song? What's it about? And well, you want us to play the clip first? What do you think, John?
Yeah, this song is about basically breaking up with women to be with my woman.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Yeah, and then having children and have just starting a family.
All right,
So,
cool. Let's watch this clip now. All the vocals are you?
Yeah, all the vocals are me.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
let's check it out.
All right, thanks.
I'll share my defeat. I know what I feel in my heart is a curse, but I can't seem to describe it with words, and I've been not thinking about you because I just wanted to be 1, 2, 3, I'll be fine, baby. It had to be.
All right, John, that's awesome, man. What do you think? When is the song? Where can we find it?
Right now you can just find it on YouTube. I haven't released it yet. I just made the video as a teaser, and it will be released on iTunes and everything. I'll keep everybody informed. I'll post in the comments on your show once it does become available so your viewers can see. But thank you so much for the promotion, and yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. Hey, Drew, my stuff is frozen up again.
There you go.
He cut out again. Dude, Woodrow, man, you feel like you're bringing me back to like Jersey Shore kind of territory where I was ready to start fist pumping and stuff that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being on, and like I said, I appreciate you supporting the show, and hopefully you keep tuning in, and definitely when you drop that single, man, let us know and put it in the comments, and we'll be sure to get you on again. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I just to let you know, the other music is available on iTunes for if you search for Woodrow Piney,
and people can find that under Woodrow Piney. Then.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being on. And like I said, look forward to hearing that full length cut when it comes out, man.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. You have a good one, and it's been a pleasure.
You too. Thanks, Woodrow.
All right, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're on a roll today.
You're BP. Like this is.
I do not know what's going on here. All right. Let's bring up our picks. All right. So we got.
Are you getting storms in Idaho?
Dude, I don't know what's going on here. It's never like this, but it's all over the place right now. I got my monitor up and it's kind of all over the place. I don't know what's affecting it, but
luckily you're able to bounce back pretty quick. So
yeah, it's hard to freeze up there. I don't know what's going on, but we'll power through. So we got our Lucy's New York style Thursday night football game of the week here. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals here. Dolphins coming off a really big win. The Bengals looking to try to get back on track. What do you like in this game, Drew? I can see this one going either way.
Yeah, so this one was tough for me, and I think I was picking this game under the assumption that Tua was a little banged up and the Dolphins were fighting some injuries. But dude, I took the Bengals with this game. These Thursday night games are kind of screwy a little bit when it comes to the NFL. I think the Bengals have got a lot to prove. The Dolphins, dude, they got to be setting up for a letdown at some point. So I took the Bengals in this game tomorrow night. I think, for the sake of Lucy's, I got the Bengals coming out. It should be a pretty high-scoring affair. I got the Bengals coming out on top, 27-24.
I like that. I went back and forth on this over and over again. I can see the Dolphins, if they keep playing the way that they're playing, obviously they got the momentum right now. I got the Bengals in this one too. This one too. I think, that was such an emotional win that they had last week. And I think there's a tendency to, when you have an emotional division win like that, to kind of have a letdown the following week. And it's in Cincinnati and it's a short week. So I think those emotions are going to kind of be all over the place. And Cincinnati also badly needs a win. So I'm going to take Cincinnati in this game. I'm going to take them 28-24 for my score prediction here.
All
but
right.
I got
the
Bengals
27-24. You got 28-24. Almost like Ricky picking the same score as me last week.
It was close. I know. And what's funny is we didn't talk about this score at all. And I've had this one written down since this afafternoon. And I just
made up the score on the fly right now. So
that's awesome.
I knew I had the Bengals. That's funny. We're vibing here, BP.
We're vibing. We got it. So
let's just keep your internet for 10 more minutes, okay, pal?
10 more minutes. We got this. So remember, if it's not Lucy's,
forget about it. Let's go,
Thanks,
Lucy.
you guys.
Somebody's got to hit finally one of these weeks.
They came close last week. We came kind of close. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. Now this game, Buffalo had a letdown last week. Baltimore is flying high. Lamar Jackson's playing really well. Their defense is playing up to par. They're giving up some points, but they're bending. They're not breaking. Now Buffalo has some injuries in some key spots. Drew, who do you got in this game?
I know Buffalo's still fighting some injuries, but I cannot see in my mind any way that Buffalo is going to lose 2 in a row. I got the Bills going over the Ravens here. Josh Allen's gonna, it's just prediction here. Josh Allen's gonna put this team on his shoulders, and I think he's gonna, they're gonna beat the Ravens. And I don't think Jackson's gonna have the kind of game that he had last week.
Now, all the way up through today, I've been thinking about the same thing, but then I keep seeing the injury report, coming through a Buffalo. They're missing Micah Hyde. He's gone, for the year, I believe. And that's a big miss on their defense. Their defense was a problem last year in the divisional playoff round against Kansas City. I think they might have a little bit of a problem with Lamar Jackson. Now, Von Miller can get after the quarterback, but I'll tell you what, Lamar Jackson is really good at escaping pressure and making plays with his legs, as we know. I got Baltimore winning this game. I think that last week is a big letdown for Buffalo, and I think they're going to be officially brought back down to earth. This is in Baltimore. This is going to be a big game, and I just think with the injuries that Buffalo has on their defense and on their offensive line, I think Baltimore is poised to exploit. I'm going to take Baltimore in this one.
Well, your pick sucks.
I love it. Kansas City, we got the baby goat in Pat Mahomes and the real GOAT in Tom Brady facing off in Tampa Bay. Now, there's a couple things that are going on with this game. Obviously, the hurricane could impact it. I think it got moved already.
They officially
moved it. Did they officially move it?
I believe so. If my sources are correct, which is my group chat, and that's not very reliable, so I'm not sure.
I know that they were planning on potentially moving this.
What field is US Bank field?
That's in Minnesota. So that's, I mean, clear across the country, where the Vikings play. They don't have a home game this week, so it looks like that'll be the home. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. I know that they were planning on it. I didn't see that they finally did it, but I believe you, man. So that's a big deal. I think when it comes to if you're playing against Kansas City, you want your home crowd to kind of help you out on defense with that pass rush. And I don't know what to expect. Who's going to be showing up at this game? What are those tickets going to look like?
Yeah, it says US Bank Stadium will host. Oh no, it says if needed. I don't know. That's why my sources. I would suck, BP. I'm gonna light up my group chat after this because they're not reliable.
I'll tell you what, I'd be surprised if this game stayed in Tampa with everything that's going on.
No
I don't
way.
feel like it would be the right thing to do. There's no way.
They're under 12 feet of water right now.
No, they're not. They're definitely not. They're not going to play there. If they played there, I'd be shocked. That'd be a big deal.
I don't know. Like they need to go somewhere else. They're not going to play in Florida.
No.
Anyway, so did you make your prediction yet?
I'm going with Kansas City in this one. I think Tom Brady had a hard time scoring 12 points last week, and I had a video queued up. I don't dare put it on there right now because things are wonky tonight. But that whole thing that happened with the delay of game, almost basically 2 plays in a row, you can tell. We talked a lot in the preseason about him not looking right, and that was just one of those things. You can blame a million different things, but Tom Brady doesn't go up and line up with 8 seconds left on the play clock and have 2 back-to-back. One of them a penalty. The other one probably should have been a penalty. Things are just off in Tampa Bay, and I think Kansas City is going to be coming out strong in this game to try to redeem themselves against the Colts.
I agree. I got the Chiefs winning as well. Out of all the exciting action this past weekend, I think the Packers-Buccaneers game was one of the most boring games of the weekend. I was looking forward to it, to see Rodgers playing Brady again and see, all right, maybe, 2 guys who people are questioning their love for the game, they're going to do battle, and let's see them elevate each other. And it just didn't happen, dude. It was about as boring as the season's been for both of those teams. I think the Chiefs are going to come out on top on this one. So.
Yeah, I like it. We're in agreement there. Now, this one, both teams need to win. You got the Tennessee Titans who beat the Las Vegas Raiders last week. You got the Colts who beat the Chiefs, but they're both 1-2. They need to keep this going, and only one of them is going to be able to do it. Now, this game's in Indianapolis. I went back and forth on this over and over. I'll go with you first, Drew. Who do you think is going to win in this game?
I think these teams are both flying pretty high right now. I just think it's going to come down to the better overall team, and I think the Titans are going to come out on top. I think the Colts are going to have a problem stopping that run game with Derrick Henry. He hasn't gotten off to as big of a start as people would have hoped, but same thing said on the other side for Jonathan Taylor, who is supposed to be the runaway number 1 back in the league, who hasn't done that this year. I think the Titans are going to be ready to go, and I think they're on the road, right? It's in Indy.
It's in Indy. Yep.
Yeah, they're going to. I got the Titans taking one here from the Colts.
I went back and forth on this one too, and as much as I wanted to pick the Colts, I wanted to say that they're going to go on and they're going to write their season. This is a divisional opponent, and the Tennessee Titans, they were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, and I know that they're missing AJ Brown, but that was watching that game against the Raiders and watching how Derrick Henry was starting to kind of get back on track. You could kind of see it.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the start that he needed to be, but I just think that the Colts, they haven't really had that. They won against the Chiefs last week, but really the Chiefs gave them an extra opportunity to win that game. I'm picking the Titans in this one. I think they ride the back of Derrick Henry. I think the Colts are still trying to find their identity. The Titans know who they are, and they're Derrick Henry, the Derrick Henry Titans.
And they've been that way for 3 or 4 years now. I think, they ever since Vrabel's been there, I think they know who they are. And are they good enough? I think they're good enough to beat the Colts this week. I don't know if they're good enough to do much damage in the AFC, but, time will tell.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Big game for both teams. We got the Los Angeles Rams, who have really struggled against the Niners. They're 1-7. They beat them in the NFC Championship game, but the Niners have won for 3 years straight in the regular season against the Rams. And you got the Niners. We got Garoppolo running out the back of end zones. We can't score more than 10 points. It seems like you lose an 11-10 game, but I feel like I've seen this movie before. Anytime that the 49ers need a get right game, the Rams come to town, and there's this game that comes out of nowhere. Can they do it again, Drew? Can they do it again?
No, they can't do it again, dude. They're not good. They're not good. And I know you wear your hat every week and you wear your jersey and you got your fat head, but sometimes reality has got to set in for you, my brother. And you got to realize that they're not a good football team right now. And the Rams are going to run away with this one, and it's going to be ugly. And you might want to put the women and children to bed early because it ain't going to be happy BP. You're going to make Ken Dorsey look like a freaking saint after you throwing all away your crap. I got the Rams big here, man. I'm sorry.
You got them big. So my biggest thing with this game, and I'm not going to lie, I'm worried about it 100%, the way that they played last week. But I have the glimmer of hope that I have isn't necessarily in the offense. There's no identity with them right now with the 49ers. And this was something that happened last year. They started really slow. I think they were 3-5 at one point, started to right the ship, and on they went. This year, it's been all over the place. Questions about the quarterback all offseason. Is Jimmy going to be there? Nope. He's going to be off the side. It's going to be Trey's team. It's going to be Trey's team. It's going to be Trey's team, to the point they didn't give Jimmy a playbook in the offseason. They didn't let him practice or any of these things, which I don't want to make an excuse, but I think it might have played a factor. But that was bad football last week by Jimmy. What he usually does after a bad game is that he comes out and plays really well. I'm hoping that happens. They just lost their starting left tackle in Trent Williams. I'm worried about what that pass rush looks like there's essentially going to be 4 relatively new offensive linemen. I'm still going to go with my guys because of their record against the Rams. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Rams are going to try to stop that run. Kyle Shanahan, listen, the 49ers season's kind of on the line here in week 4. If they go 1-3, there's some big problems. They have to win this game. They have to win it at home. It's on Monday Night Football. They've had success against the Rams in the past. And I feel like it's going to be on the back of the defense that's going to win this game. I think Matt Stafford has a tendency to throw some picks. I think he's going to give him a couple. We'll see what happens there. But I got the Niners winning. I think it's going to be a close game. If the 49ers blow them out, I'd be shocked. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way, the way these teams play each other. But I got the Niners in this game. I can't turn my back on them quite yet, but I'm worried about this game, absolutely.
The Niners could be 0-16, and you would have the Niners in this game, so...
I would not. That is not true. I picked against them last year, and they won. It was actually against the Rams. I said, I can't do it, and they came out and they won.
Was that when you were hosting the show by yourself?
It was, and nobody could call me out on it. Nobody could call me out on it, man. All right. Well, I want to show here just super quick, if we're able to. I want to show our fan Pick Em Leaderboard. We got a change in the guard at the top. We got Ice QB 21 at the top. Looks like we got a 2-way tie with Tap the Rockies. And then there's a third place. We got Heedman 55 in there with 28 points. And then I think it's a 5-way 4th place tie right there. So it's a tight race.
I'll tell you what there, BP. I was looking at the leaderboard for the old, host.
You're making You're making some waves
a little
there.
Comeback after you went 7-9 this week. And
I went 7-9.
Went 8-8.
Yeah. So this is what we got here. You're a point behind me. We'll take a look and see what Ricky picks. Obviously, football should not be in the first part of his mind here, but look at this. We have some differences this week, my friend.
We do.
You got Buffalo. I got Baltimore. I got Cleveland. You got Atlanta. I picked Seattle.
Man, I feel like the Bears are just going to come out. I know the Giants have been playing well, but that's got to stop sometime.
It's got to. I mean,
you got the Seahawks over the Lions, dude.
I do. I'm kind of buying in a little bit to now. Geno Smith, he hasn't played really bad. It's their defense I'm worried about. Their offense is kind of chugging away. I want to see what Detroit. I'm not sold on Detroit. I know they're going to play hard. I think it's going to be a tough game. I can see it going either way, and it takes a lot for me to pick the Seahawks.
Yeah,
so we got some differences this week, man. All right, we got our hot shots of the week. I'm not even going to play the sound clip. I'm just trying to get through this. But Drew, I'm gonna
give me my clip. You got my clip?
I got your clip right here, and we're gonna bring it up right here,
check this out.
real quick.
This is my hot shot of the week. My hot shot of the week goes out to a man named Javino McLean. Okay, he runs a gym out of Manchester. I think. What's Manchester, England, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
I'm not good with geography. But dude, this guy runs a gym for the elderly, for the disabled, for the less fortunate, and he does it all at no cost, man. He doesn't charge these people to come to use this gym. This clip was pretty moving to me, man. Just if you're watching along, watch this clip, and if you're not watching along and you're hearing this, definitely pop onto our Facebook and check this clip out, man, because this is pretty powerful stuff here.
Walking, go on, walk, don't headbutt it, walk forward. One more. Light work, easy. I'm gonna let go of you. 3, 2, 1. Easy. Go on, keep going. Come on, big dog. Go on now, go on, son. There we go, come on now. Beautiful, you like a leopard. Delfoot, go on, son. Come on, Mouse. Come on, Mouse. Come on, big dog. Come on, stop laughing and pulling. Keep coming.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, that doesn't make you tear up. Like, just giving people that sense of empowerment, man. It made me. I saw it today, and yeah. So cheers to him. Appreciate it.
That's awesome, Drew. That's real life stuff, man. That's real life stuff, and he's spending that time. That's pretty cool. All right, my hot shot of the week. I'm gonna have 2 in this one. Okay,
2 shots.
Two shots. My first shot is anybody that's still alive in a freaking survivor pool right now. I don't know how. I've struck out like a mother. If you're alive in a survivor pool right now, you're my hot shot of the week, because I've struck out 3 in a row, and I've watched survivor pool after survivor pool. Like, people are cashing out right now in week 4. That's how crazy this season's been. So if you're in a survivor pool and you're still in it going into week 4, congratulations. You're my hot shot of the week. My second one.
Wait, there's 2.
There's 2.
Like,
it's got to be our brother Ricky, man. You're going through some stuff down there. You got some 100-mile-an-hour winds. You got some flooding down there. You're sticking with it. You were letting us know about. You still had the show, man, on your mind when you're getting ready to prepare going through this entire hurricane. The fact that you even thought about us, dude, you're a freaking stud. We love you, man. You're a badass. We can't wait to have you back. Hope you and your family's safe. But you're definitely hot shot of the week for sure, Drew. What's that board say in the back? Let's get some music going.
Let me get this board here.
We got to get this board going.
Little wisdom here, all right? The other day I saw my printer was dancing. Turned into a picture
That's good, man.
Another solid week. Another great board. Keep listening. Keep watching.
Keep listening. Hit that subscribe button. We're thinking about you, man. Woodrow, thanks for coming on. The Prophet, always a gem. Same time, same channel next week, and hopefully we get these internet issues fixed. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.